hating, and it starts with the churches. Too many churches, too much divisiveness. Jim Crow. We know what Jim Crow is all about, right? But we can't break out of it. Is that a thinking being? Is that a healthy being? We know we have post-traumatic stress disorder. That's why meditation and study comes in. You have to take control. You need to condition your mind. If you can't read for 15 minutes without falling asleep, you have a weak mind. If your spirit keeps you from doing what's right, you need to recondition your mind. You have to take control of your mind. That's what the Sphinx is all about. You have to overcome your primal nature in order to reach your spiritual essence. It's a journey. It's a process. It's a conditioning of the mind. This is a computer, brothers and sisters. Knock the cobwebs off. Right now, we're in a state of bankruptcy. We're morally, spiritually, and physically bankrupt. We're sicker than ever. Our spirits ain't working. Look at all these churches everywhere. Look at the violence and the crime within our communities. Mothers was going to church. They left their kids at home. The men, where are they? We're going to get to that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to that in a minute. Emotionally, physically, and spiritually bankrupt. I know you don't want to listen to this. This is the only way we're going to change and grow as a people. We can blame it on others. But they can only victimize us if we allow them to victimize us. So we conduct ourselves where they can lock up more people in jail than there was in slavery. So we thought we was leaving one situation and we end up walking this totally another situation. Because they keep outsmarting us. In this program here, we can all become millionaires in less than 12 months. We just condition ourselves, submit, open up our channels of communication, start loving ourselves, and start seeing the face of God in each other. We can transform our condition. Then it won't matter who's in the presidency. We need to understand how they keep coming at us. We're not paranoid. We're not paranoid. It's a reality. But how do we break out of the reality that they made for us? Well, they mock us and cheat us and beat us and shoot down our children and make sure that our children don't learn anything because the systems there are made for them the way they exist now. But we don't participate. We don't show up. Checkmate. Checkmate. The education program is brought to you so inexpensively, there's no excuses. But you gotta have the will, right? To structure and design your own life, your own existence. That's what the 30-day life plan is all about. Gives you an opportunity to think about your own existence and your own destiny. We get caught up so much in making a living instead of designing a living, designing our life. How do we want our life to be? Structure. That's what the life plan is about. It's about like a business plan for your life. How do you want your life to be? We live in more than 80 years old right now. And all we need to do is take a small portion of that. Even though learning is a lifetime process. We take 20 years of that and get a good foundation and add to it as we go along so we can have a nice quality of life while we're here on this journey versus being at the bottom of every statistic. Because we wait for somebody to come and save us. We have to save ourselves. We have to be the cake, right? Before we ask ask for the icing, because the icing just by itself will make us sick, like we've done right now. It's like Africa. They treated it as a cake, and they carved up the cake and gave it to everybody else. We need to put that cake back together and nurture ourselves. So the whole objective of these series is, how do you get people that have been beat down, think so highly of themselves that they can't no good to themselves or those around them, no matter how much money you got today. Because we see our artists overdose, drugs. Money is not the issue. So how do we get you to take action? You can go through YouTube and say we have so many orators that tell us what our problems are and our inappropriate behavior. But when do we sit down and look ourselves in the mirror and decide to make that change? And change requires action. Change requires action. It's impossible to fail unless you don't do anything at all or you quit. We're failing right now. We're failing right now. And I got a message for men. We have to kickstart this movement. My next series, what is it? This is, I think, part 4. The next series, I'm going to run out of time right now. We're going to talk about men and our responsibility. Then after that, we'll talk about the solution. So everything that I'm talking about is solution oriented, right? It's unbelievable. It is totally unbelievable. All right. You know what? I have to take a break. I'm drinking all this coffee this morning. I have to take a break, so I come back in a minute. And what I'll probably do is, we just finish up the notes that I have, the rest of the notes that I have. We can probably fit that into my clock. I have about 22 minutes left, so excuse me for a moment. Okay. All right. Okay. So where were we? All right. Okay, we have to begin to take action. We have to take action. Like I said before, it's impossible to fail unless you don't do anything. Personal power. Changing yourself is the first step to creating the life you want and the life you deserve, but you only deserve it if you are willing to do what most won't do. Work at it. Most won't do it, man. So all we got to do as a group, even if a small group gets together, we work at it and combine our resources, we'll be the top percent to help those, the sheep out there that's lost and for some reason just cannot find their way. The ones who took the time to educate themselves. Now understand that you've been miseducated, so now we can re-educate you. It's like I went to the service. I'm your mama and your daddy. Forget everything you learned. I'm going to teach you to be a man. Went to UCLA. Forget everything you've learned. I'm going to teach you the UCLA way. We're going to teach you how to read, write. So we're going to teach you UCLA way. The same thing with looking to nature. But you can't build a structure. Look at the mudslides. They don't understand the land that they building the structure on. So they don't overstand. So when they build it, because they didn't have a good understanding of the foundation, it collapses. The whole mountain structure just collapses, which was a blessing to them in disguise. But that's from the learning from the school of hard knocks. Sometimes you don't pay and you talk about people who go to school, spend all that money and in debt, but how much has ignorance cost you? How much has not knowing cost you? I have had incidents where people their whole life have said, you can even, American greed is a good example of it. And even in our own communities, people save their whole life and some sweet talker come by and scam them for their whole life, save millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. They've only taken a little bit of time in the front. Just because you got money don't mean jack. You just waiting for somebody to come take it from you. A lot of you found a way to make money, but you don't have a good understanding of money and how to manage it to make it grow. Then if you've done everything throughout your life, guess what? It's going to hit the black hole when your kids get their hand up, because 99% of the time, they haven't figured out. That's why we haven't made any economic progress from one generation to the next from slavery. Even though the numbers, I'm sure they lied about it, a little bit, but you can still see around us that, most of us are destitute. The only ones who really got money are the actors and the athletes and so forth like that, and everybody's trying to be one of them, so they don't understand that there's a lot of activity that goes around producing that movie. They make good livings too. Everybody don't have to be in front of the screen. So changing yourself is the first step to creating a life you want and a life you deserve. But you only deserve it if you are willing to do what most won't do. Work at it. Come on, people. This is so easy, man. And I shouldn't have to be on video giving you this information. I should have just sent you an email, say, hey, we don't understand what we don't understand, and we don't know what we don't know. And we don't want to know it because we think that all we don't know is all that should be known. And some foolish individuals tell me God will tell me everything I need to know. No, God tells you, you need to find it out. He should be talking to you to tell you, okay, if I don't know this, then I need to go find this out. Or I need to study to show myself approved, because our people perish for the lack of knowledge. So we pick and choose from the book of wisdom what we want to do. But yet we say, someone talks about it, we want to fight, fuss about it, but we're not following any of the tenets of the ministry ourselves. And most of these doctrines are not Bible-based anyway. First one's up there. Don't drink alcoholic beverage. They drunk alcohol through the Bible. And the preacher and the deacon's going to get drunk after the service is over. We have to solve the big problem. We want our individual, we want us to be solvent financially. But we need to address the big problem, which is poverty. And we address that issue. All those that are smart and brilliant minded will become even wealthier. You won't be worrying about your bills or anything like that. You walk with me down this path. So you have to make a decision.